Sue. It's so far away. Good morning, Joseph. Good morning, Kenny. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Odell. Kiari, good morning. Good morning, Jennifer. Jess, good morning. Here's to the ones who said no. Good morning, Ashley. Good morning, Eden. Love. Love, love, hooray for love. Who was ever too blasé for love? Make this a night for love. If we have to fight, let's fight for love. Thank you. Some sigh and cry. Morning, Joel. But in Perry they die for love. Some waste away for love. Just the same, hooray for love. Love, hooray for love. Others have to take off or wait for love. Some go berserk for love. Lookers even go to work for love. Sad songs are soft for love. People have their noses bobbed for love. Some say we pay for love. Just the same, hooray for love. You are the promised kiss of springtime that makes the lonely winter seem long. We're almost there. Hold on. Good morning, downtown Brown. Breathless hush of evening that trembles on the brink of a lovely song. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone? I hope you're doing well. Hold on, you know I gotta do business. Get that back up to there, and then that, and then put that there. Yes. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. I hope you're all doing well. It is Monday, May 18th in the year of our Lord 2020. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you had lovely weekends. And as Maggie Smith says in Downton Abbey, what's a weekend? Every day just rolls right into the next. We do the same things, except on Sundays. I hope you're having a moment, if you're not doing it the rest of the week, to enjoy a moment of scripture. I know some of you are having them at least 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for our hymn book moment. I think many of you are having another one, hopefully on Sunday, whether you're coming to church with me or going to watch somewhere else. Anyway, I hope you had a lovely weekend. We had a great weekend. Yesterday was another just afternoon of easiness. I made some delightful turkey burgers. They were very good. Good morning, Trenton. We took a walk around a couple different neighborhoods and relaxed here. Had a 50th birthday call for a friend in the afternoon. And then last night, CBS Sunday night at the movies had on Mission Impossible 1. And when I tell you, you could tell, I mean, Tom Cruise looked like a young thing that was just fresh off of the casting couch. I mean, he looked so young. In one of those first scenes, he took off, because you know they're always good for ripping off a mask and having him under somebody else's face. They ripped it off the first time. I was like, that's what Tom Cruise used to look like. That's what he used to look like. Good morning, Tommy. And it's one of those things, all of a sudden you're like, woo. Good morning, Soprano. Good morning, Dorothy. Good morning, Jordan. How are you? Oh, welcome back. Welcome, Jordan. Good morning, Timon. But yeah, it was one of those things you look at him, you're like, you forget that Tom Cruise has been in this game forever. Good morning, Dieter. Because literally from Risky Business days, where he slid across the floor in those white socks and in his skivvies and that white shirt. You remember him then as a young PYT, and then even when he started all of these, then he was still a PYT when he did Interview with the Vampire. That's the only reason he got it, because both he and Brad Pitt were so Hollywood beautiful. Thank you, sir. They had no choice but to hire them for those vampire. And then in Mission Impossible 1, which was apparently 8,000 years ago. Good morning, Marshall. He looks great. Good morning, Hanky. So it was good to see that. I'm glad to see that those movies are on right now. I mean, I'm enjoying them, even with the I call it intermissions, even with the commercial breaks. Same thing with Tom Hanks and Big. And I have to say, I was going to say this later. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way, then so I can get rid of it later, so I won't repeat it. Some of y'all are real upset over oh, okay, I don't know how to copy and paste anymore. Fine, no, fine. My new computer working the fingers and the new keypad. Anyway, so there are a bunch of people who are very upset over at CBS right now because we're not having the Tony Awards ceremony this year. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do, and apparently they decided they were going to show the sing-along version of Grease instead of something of the Tonys. And some people have been very vocal. Jeremy Jordan has been vocal. Patty Murin has been vocal. Apparently Lin-Manuel put some side eyes on Twitter, but he didn't say anything. He just put a side eye. So you can infer what you want to from that side eye. Audrey said nothing. You haven't heard the big wig say anything. Because here's the thing. Good morning, Rocker. Good morning, Jonathan. It's still CBS. They still have the last say. And if next year they're like, yeah, we're not doing it anymore, because it's not like the Tonys get their biggest audiences of the year. So all these people who have so much to say, unless you're saying in a way that is helpful, you're just talking into the wind. You can let that go, because they're not listening. They're trying to put something on that the bulk of America, as well as those who are Tony audiences. Good morning, Anya. Ori, good morning. Good morning, Paul, would want to watch. And as much as I don't want to see Grease, there are plenty of people who will sit there and have a good time with Grease. There are chills, they're multiplying, and they're losing control. Good morning, Amy. Are there other things they could have put on? Yes, but this is not the time. This is not the time. We have a lot of time, at least 3 months, before we really get back, and very possibly longer than that. So this is not the time to try and be like, oh, let's remind people. We have other ways to remind people of Broadway. We need to save the big guns until right before we're ready to come back. Have them do something else then to re-up the game. And anyway, I'm not giving you all my ideas. I have my ideas. Thank you. Listen, everybody, listen. I get it. You, Kenny just posted something. I get it. Grease is not the best choice. It's not the best choice. But all of those people in Middle America, they're going to love it. They're going to sit and watch it. They're going to have their kids watching it too. They can sing along with it. I'm going to let that be for now. Good morning, Noah. How are you? Since we're talking about Broadway, we'll do this Broadway, and then we'll go back to the other thing. So last week we talked about all of the possibilities of Disney shows since they're closing Frozen. And of course, apparently they have bed knobs and broomsticks up in the hamper. And I'm like, who remembers bed knobs and broomsticks? That's before my time, and I'm 8,000 years old. So none of that. They're talking about Hercules. Yes, they're talking about Aida, and there was something else they're talking about. So we'll see what that's going to be with them. Also, Some Like It Hot, which again I know some of you will not know what that is. That was a movie in the 60s. With Tony Curtis and Marilyn Monroe. Well, actually, it may have been the late 50s. Good morning, Cordy. Where Tony Curtis was trying to get away from some gangsters. They dressed in drag to be a part of this all female band. Craziness ensues. I don't know that anybody remembers that. Ashley remembers bed knobs and broomsticks. So that's coming to Broadway fall of 2021. That is Mark Shaiman, Scott Whitman are doing music. We'll see what else happens. Good morning, Coloring Broadway. Did I miss anybody? I hope I didn't miss anybody's names. So that's happening too. That's Tracy Ellis Ross. Tracy Ellis Ross is about to release a new movie with Dakota Johnson called The High Note. Which, good morning, Mother. Which from the things that I heard on this clip, they weren't very high, but they're calling the movie The High Note, and it's going to start streaming on May 29th. I think it was supposed to be in the movies, but because of all of this, they decided to just, as everything should, as the new James Bond should, just come on out here. Mulan needs to just come on out here. Here, Marshall says, Tracy, what a queen. When I tell you, it's interesting to hear her sing. She said something. I think it was to Oprah a few months ago about she sent Oprah or she sent her mother a recording of her singing. This is a conversation she had with Oprah, and how her mother, who is Diana Ross, was quiet because she's like, I'm so happy to hear your voice. Tracy has a lovely voice. I mean, honestly, listen, she may sound, well, it could be auto tuning, and Diana didn't have that much auto tuning, but she sounds delightful. I'm looking forward to hearing her sing some. There was a musical version of Some Like It Hot called Sugar. This is not that. This is a brand new musical called Some Like It Hot. Hopefully, it doesn't, have the same ending as Sugar. We'll see. Okay, so you all know that you all know what my favorite restaurant in the city is, right? You all know? My favorite restaurant in the city is Pastis. Starting tomorrow, Tuesday the 19th, my cousin Jackson's birthday, Pastis is going to start doing takeout and delivery. I don't know where the delivery lines are, but I hope they come to Brooklyn. We can have a good cheeseburger. We'll see. Anyway, but things are starting to reopen. We will get to. All right. There's so many things we have to talk about. We'll just do this right now. So many people, as things are reopening, there was a picture that a friend posted and that I reposted of the Upper East Side this weekend, and it got so many likes, and so many people were either very happy or very upset by it. It was Upper East Side. Apparently, the restaurants or bars are opening, and they're selling drinks off of the streets. So, I'll answer that in a second, Trenton. So that is happening, and the other night there were hordes of people out on the streets. I mean, out on the streets with like lawn chairs and sitting on curbs, and many without masks on. And as a friend tried to say and be cute, it's like, well, it's hard to drink a drink with the mask on. Then guess what you shouldn't be doing out on the street? Drinking a drink. And people upset because what I said was like, the Upper East Side is one thing. If the same thing had happened in Harlem, everyone would have been thrown to the ground and arrested and fined. But on the Upper East Side, that didn't happen. And then there was someone who's like went through, because I said there are young white people, because y'all know most of the young white people tend to be a little entitled. And yes, there were others who were mixed in there with them because they think they can be entitled just like those young people. But guess what? When the police come through and if they have to arrest one person, guess who they're looking for? So you sitting there with all your friends, with Tom and Tina and Sally and Karen and Becky, and you will be arrested, Taekwon. That's what I'm saying. I've said it. Good morning, Michael. Good morning. Did I miss anybody? Good morning, Bernard. But some people got upset. It's like, you're upset because I mentioned that. You need to look at your own entitlement. What I'm saying is, if this same thing had happened in Harlem, it wouldn't have happened in Harlem because all those people would have been arrested or there would have been altercations of all kinds. But on the Upper East Side, because of the majority of the people living there, it was allowed to happen. And it should not have been allowed to happen. And you feeling like you're tired and you've been inside for so long and you want to get back to life. Everybody does, but we're not getting back to that life, and we're not getting back to it now. And those who are trying to get back to it now, there's something on this morning. Someone's like, I just had to come to Nordstrom so I could try something on and get some clothes for summer. Ma'am, you're going to be in the hospital this summer because you went to Nordstrom to try on some clothes. Where are you going? You're not going to church unless you're going in by yourself to pray. You're not going to anybody's party. If y'all going to any of those things, again, you will be in the hospital by the end of summer. You are a part of the second wave. Stop. You can't sit still for a moment. I know it's been 8 weeks. I've been sitting still too. We've been in this apartment. Every once in a while, we go off to take a little walk around the blocks, away from people. It's difficult. Life is difficult. For those of you who have never had any difficulties, and this is the worst thing that has ever happened to you, good for you. That life has been so beautiful for you that this is the worst thing that has ever happened to you. And I hope that nothing worse ever does. But life is life. Life ain't easy. Life for me ain't been no. I can go there. Anyway, where are we going next? Oh, hold on. Oh, my computer's acting up. I don't want to say, hey, my mouse won't move. We'll figure out what's going on in a minute. Okay, now you want to act right. You've tried to freeze on me. Don't do that, please. I don't need that. All right, so, yeah, I don't say about those people anymore. It's dying for a beer, literally, is what they're doing. Okay, so President who will without doubt go down in history as the worst and most unprepared, ill-prepared president of this country, had the nerve to say about President Obama, who very possibly is the most intelligent president we've had in modern history. He called him incompetent. Good morning, Cam. Good morning, Erica. This is finally after 3.5 years, Obama has said nothing about Trump. After doing everything he could to get him into the White House, to make sure they had a pandemic response team and all these things, and they lied and said he didn't. Blah blah blah. All these things. So this weekend he said there's people in Washington with some power and with some titles who don't know what they're doing. And Trump tried to come back with something like, "Sir, what you need to do is not try that with him. You are the head dum-dum in charge, and that's all you are. But what you don't want to do is say anything to Mr. Obama, because he can use words that you don't even understand. He can use words that Ivanka won't even be able to Google on her phones." So, we shall see. They're all good morning, Bradrick. They're all afraid now because all of the frayed edges of everything is coming out, and it's not just the president. It's like we have gotten in a habit of electing people who are popular, and as opposed to people who are also competent. So it's about people who are like in either party now. I'm not just saying one party. In either party that will just do what the party wants, and will always follow that to the detriment of American citizens, but not to have a true voice and to really be there to look out for the betterment of American people. So whether it's his base or it's far in the other direction, and those who are so progressive that they care nothing about anybody in the middle. I want everything for free. I don't want to pay for my student loan debt. I want all blah 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 blah. Ain't nothing for free. Ain't nothing free. Even the head of the Federal Reserve is like, we can print money. It's like, yeah, but at some point, somebody's got to pay the bill. Good morning, Aurelia. Good morning, Kenny. Good morning, Michael. So we'll see. And then there's all this going on with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who's done some crazy things, and the president, good morning, Dana, keeps firing the inspectors general. Apparently this is the 5th one we've had since March. Good morning, Merle. How you go? That's like saying, okay, so you got a maitre d' at your restaurant, and you hire the best person because you know they know the job, but then you keep firing them because they keep seeing you doing stupid stuff, and they keep wanting to tell you can't. Like sweeping dirt under a table, or you may have some infestations in this, as opposed to doing anything. You just keep moving things around so nobody can see. No. Good morning, Phoebe. How are you? Anyway, so many hands in the cookie jars. What else do we want to go with this? I don't want to talk about that anymore. Okay, last thing we're going to talk about. First of all, let's rest in peace to Fred Willard. He's television movie actor for decades and decades. Many of you know him from the Christopher Guest movie Best in Show. This is Spinal Tap. He's done many shows in television. He was apparently on Everybody Loves Raymond. But he passed away this weekend, so we wish his family, we send them our support and our love. And where are we going now? Okay, so let's go here first, and we'll go to those. All right, so some of you know who Andre Leon Talley is. He is the larger-than-life, literally and figuratively, man on. Thank you, Kenny. Who worked with Vogue, who was an editor and was editor at large at Vogue, many years things, working with first with Diana Vreeland and then with Anna Wintour, and has been around and great friends with Karl Lagerfeld, he says, and yada yada, until they fell out, and all these things. Well, he's written this. He had a movie that came out, a documentary, last year, maybe a year and a half ago. I watched that. Now he has a new book called The Chiffon Trenches. I won't be reading it. Good morning, Jacob. Ken Page, I was talking about you the other day. Good morning, Doris. Good morning, Denise. I won't be reading it. I don't believe it. Here's a quote from the memoir. This is from the New York Times review of it. And then we'll come back. We're gonna read this. Okay. So best quote about the memoir. The Chiffon Trenches is less about the fashion elite than it is about a black boy from the rural South who got swallowed whole by the white gaze and was spit out as a too large black man when he no longer fit the narrative. But the white gaze has done its work, and Talley's disconnect to blackness, his own and others, is palpable. No one pulled your plug, sir. I know too many people who have met him, myself being one of them. When you try and say something to him, tell him that he is a mentor, or you've looked up to him, or whatever it has been, and he just turned and had nothing to say because he didn't care. They say at one point in here, it's like many people he called friends, they knew he just wanted them to get things for him, whether it be Louis Vuitton luggage or anything else. He used a lot of people, and he didn't do it well is the problem. Because other people have done it and bought their houses and had their monies and all these things taken care of and didn't think twice about it. And the memoir was nothing but happiness. His memoir is "Woe is me. I'm not on the red carpet at the Met Gala anymore." Well, no one is this year, sir. So you should have waited until next year to put your book out. Right before the first Monday in March 2021, you should have let the book come out. Right now it's bad timing. Right now you just look sad. And I want the best for you. I want to know what Jennifer Hudson has to say, because Jennifer Hudson was one that, you remember early, like, I can't remember which movie it was. It may have been, it was one of those fashion movies from several years ago, and she went with him to the Valentino retrospective in Milan. I wonder what she feels about him at this point, because I wonder if he was maybe trying to be on the coattails of this rising young thing, and she realized it, or who realized what. Because you don't get to sit beside Anna Wintour all that time, and then when she says bye, all of a sudden you want to come out all this stuff because you knew what was going on. How many young black designers did you mentor? How many young black editors, writers, anything did you mentor at Vogue in the Condé Nast building? How many? Crickets. Anyway, all right. If you want to read it, please read it. It's Andre Leon Talley, the Chiffon Trenches. It's out, coming soon. Two things. So this afternoon at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be taking over the Native Son Now Instagram page on Instagram. I'm going to be having a moment with choreographer Raja Feather Kelly. He has his own company, but also he was the choreographer for A Strange Loop. He's choreographer for the upcoming Lempicka. He's a delight. So if you're around at 5 o'clock this afternoon and want to go over to the Native Son Now page on Instagram, we'll have a quick time. We'll have a quick talk. Also, if you have not already, will you please go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, T. Oliver Reed. And I'm asking you to do that because there's going to be a lot of new content going on there. Again, these interviews and some things, and they're already like so great and having so many wonderful moments. Have a lot more happening this week. Cannot wait. So that's that. Go to YouTube, T. Oliver Reed. Subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it very much. Thank you. Let's get to the birthdays. Ooh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Dear Alberto Bossi, Stephanie Gibson, Rob Bartlett, Lauren Flanagan, Kevin Kern, Nick Wyman, Rebecca Rich, and Sean Wiley, happy birthday to you. Now it's time to open up the hymn books, see what God has done. Open up those hymn books so you can run. Open up the hymn books. I had to give you that one hand clap so I could get the angels going. There they are. Thank you, angels. All right, if you all open up your hymn books to 1 John, good morning, Josh, chapter 3, verse 16. John 3:16. 1 John 3:16. Y'all ready? Okay, good. We know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. So we also ought to give up our lives for our brothers and our sisters. 1 John 3:16. We know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. So we also ought to give up our lives for our brothers and our sisters. What is real love? So many of us spend so much of our lives searching for real love. We each long to find a steadfast love that puts others first. Jesus promises us this kind of love and gives us the power to love each other in this way. Look to Jesus to satisfy your desire for a genuine and never-ending love. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of his word. Are y'all ready for real love? Are you? Because real love for your brothers and sisters may mean you staying at home so that they can stay safe. Real love good morning, Ezekiel, may mean you staying put or taking away the selfish nature that we all have so that you can do something selfless for those who are around you. The elderly, the young, your neighbor. Doing things for others. Listen, the love will grow. You can let love grow. You can feed love and grow love and see what happens with it. You can do that. But you have to do something. You have to be open to it. You have to be open to God's goodness. You have to be open to God's love for you in order for you to love somebody else. Are you open for God? Are you open to God's love for you? I hope so. That's the only way anything's gonna grow. That's the only way we're gonna have any changes. We are in a real strange spot right now. If you've not been paying attention, we were watching I think it was 60 Minutes last night or something, and there was a scientist on there. It's like the planet has been fighting you all. It's been telling us for months that we need to quit it. We need to quit whatever it is we're doing, and we're not listening. So with all those brush fires in Australia, and the floods in Venice, and all these and the locusts in Africa, all these things, the planet's trying to say, y'all are wearing me out. The planet needed to rest. So she gave us what? A virus. So we could rest for a minute. So she could rest for a minute. So Mother Nature could go into the bedroom, take her aspirin, and say, Calgon, take me away for a few minutes. We need to learn from this so we don't continue to make those same mistakes that we have made. Life as we know it's going to change. We may not need 4,000 planes flying every day. Maybe we can do it on 1,000. Maybe we do less flights. Make sure they're full. Make sure that people, first of all, you're not going to need to travel as much because we now know you can work from home. So those who are traveling back and forth every day and all these things, you don't need to do that anymore. We know better now. So we don't need that flight. We'll see. Anyway, I want y'all to be open for love for your brothers and sisters and everybody. Do something kind for somebody today. It could be anything. It could just be that FaceTime you're going to send to somebody you haven't talked to in a while, or that text you need to send to someone. You keep saying, I need to remember to text this person. Do it right now. You got very little else to do. All right? All right. Thank you, angels. Hold on. Let me get rid of the angels. Thank you, angels. I appreciate you. All right, everybody. I love you all so much. Have a wonderful day. We will be back together on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Wednesday at 10 a.m. Also, don't forget, 5 p.m. today on Native Son Now on Instagram with Raja Feather Kelly. Don't forget to go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, T. Alvarito. We can get a lot of great content on there. I love you all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, Facebook.